What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and I kind of needed a sanity check. Um, California is a state where parents or where kids can apparently change their physiology, their biology, their gender without parents' approval. But now they are worried about Skittles. Skittles have been banned in California because it has been linked to reproductive issues, but California has no problem if you want to chop your junk off. Also reproductive issues. California has no problem with underage people getting puberty blockers, which many believe are linked to reproductive issues. But Skittles and other candies have now been banned. This is insanity. The woke madness, the hypocrisy. If you really were, this is so funny. This by the post-millennial. California to ban Skittles in state where children can get surgeries without parents' approval. The California State Assembly has passed a bill that would ban Skittles and other delicious candy treats over chemicals contained that are linked to health issues. Now, normally I would support this, right? This is the same state that passed a bill last year making the state a sanctuary for people under 18 seeking to have their body physically modified. According to KTLA 5, Assembly Bill 418 passed overwhelmingly in the chamber last week, now heads to the state Senate, where staffers told the outlet it is expected to pass and the candies will be banned. The bill prohibits the manufacture, sale, or distribution of products containing titanium dioxide, potassium bromate, red dye number 3, or vegetable oil or propylparaben in the state. These chemicals have already been banned in the European Union and have been linked to cancer, reproductive issues, and developmental issues in children. So again, if true, I agree. Now, I've had a lot of Skittles in my life. I seems like this is probably not a widespread issue, and also I've eaten them voluntarily. So, I suppose that's a thing. The article continues, but what also has links to reproductive issues is body changes and medicalized gender transitions, which are allowed in the state even on minors. Surgical transitions involve the removal of healthy organs, leaving the person on the receiving end infertile. Puberty blockers, which have been deemed a pausing point for children questioning their gender identity, are often called, quote, fully reversible, have been revealed by some experts to cause fertility issues in children as they grow up and potentially continue down the path of transition. They are also not fully reversible, with bone loss and other bodily damages remaining permanent. But Skittles had to go. Guess what? It's also hot tamales, Pez, and more. Director of Boston Children's Hospital Gender Clinic, Dr. Jeremiah, oh no, he spelled it with an I, fine, Carswell, explained in a video that 12 to 13-year-old testicle-bearing person, a man, who hasn't really had too much puberty and is given a puberty blocker in an early stage of development and subsequent estrogen leaves the person infertile. That's a big deal. That's something you have to have a conversation about, she said. In California last September, a bill was signed into law that allowed kids looking to receive so-called gender-affirming care to seek refuge in the state. SB 107 prevents out-of-state authorities from acting on subpoenas, warrants, or child custody issues if the minor was brought to the state for procedures like surgical gender reassignment or the prescribing of puberty blockers or hormones. There was that story about, I believe, the Texas dad whose wife fled to California, basically, so that she could transition their kid, and he couldn't stop it. I don't know if that actually happened or went through yet, but that's what I remember. Republicans in the state have attempted to block schools from secretly transitioning kids without parents' knowledge, but Democrats blocked the bill from receiving its first hearing, with Assemblyman Al Don't Really Care saying in April that the hearing wouldn't happen, not only because the bill is proposing, quote, bad policy, but because a hearing would potentially provide a forum for increasing hateful rhetoric targeting LGBTQ youth. I mean, this is what they're focusing on. Now, if this stuff is really unhealthy, you know, I feel like they can probably find something else to, replace it. However, the food and beverage industry opposes the ban. The American Chemistry Council, a trade group representing companies engaged in the business of chemistry, said in March that AB 418 is an overly broad and unnecessary burden on consumers, manufacturers, and regulators. The National Confectionaries Association, Candy, also opposes the bill. Shocking. Quote, chocolate and candy are safe to enjoy. They have been for centuries. We strongly oppose AB 418 because there is no evidence supporting banning the ingredients listed on the bill, the NCA said in March. The ingredients would be banned under this proposal have all been approved by U.S. FDA. Food safety is the number one priority for U.S. confectionery companies, and we do not use any ingredients in our products that do not comply with the FDA's strictest safety standards, the group added. I mean, like, this is the thing, like, I think that if they're not good for you long term, I don't really have an issue with the ban. A lot of people say, oh, they were banned in Europe. Get with the program. Well, just because Europe does something doesn't mean it's great. Europe had this one, Europe has a lot of things that aren't inherently better. Unless you're like a middle-aged white woman, you think that Europe is a perfect utopia of perfection in every conceivable way. But the idea that California, I mean, that's not necessarily the story. The story is that California is really worried about reproductive health, but they're absolutely fine letting kids go there. So Skittles, Pez, hot tamales, and many more. It's unacceptable the U.S. is so far behind the rest of the world. Was there like a mass event that I was unaware of Skittle-related deaths? I think probably the biggest risk about Skittles is diabetes. We don't love our children any less than they do in Europe, and it's not too much to ask food and beverage manufacturers who switch to, quote, safer alternatives that they already use in Europe. Ooh, well, can we just be like Europe, please? If this stuff's bad for you, I get it. But I do think it's pretty funny. Like, California, of course, wants to be Canada. They want to be, Europe. And that's fine. Everyone that doesn't like it, like, that state's only going to get more blue. People that, don't want an insane government, people like Gavin Newsom out there lording over them, are leaving. They're going to Texas. They're moving to New Mexico. They're moving to Wisconsin. They're moving all over the country. If the stuff is bad for you, I don't see any problem with it. I just think it's funny how this is what they're focusing on. You see, today's vote is a major step forward in our effort to protect children and families in California. Protect kids from candy, but not mutilating themselves. It truly is a clown world, isn't it? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you're new here, please do subscribe down below. I'd absolutely love to earn your subscription today. We'll talk to you again real soon.